let me lay it on the line. He had two on the vine.
Hey, you're listening to Two on the Vine. This is a new podcast that KY and I are trying out. And KY, as you may know him, is a connoisseur of fine lubricants. And he's also a friend. He plays video games, he plays music, and he is the co-host to my co-host.
Indeed. And so I imagine there might be someone out there who's actually never even heard of Vine Sauce. What is Vine Sauce?
Vine sauce is a substance that seeps through your electronics when you least expect it and infects your computer with pointless videos and streams that take entirely too long.
You got it.
We're a video game stream.
Yep.
And,
yeah.
And other things too, videos and stuff.
Yep. And so Vinnie introduced me, and Vinnie is an Italian jabroni who likes music. He writes music, plays a lot of instruments. He plays a lot of video games. I might even call him a Nintendo fanboy, if that's not too much to say. But he plays a lot of things. And we're going to talk about a lot of things. We're going to talk about video games, because you needed another video game podcast in your life. There weren't enough.
That's all you need, really. I mean, you can listen to 7,000 video game podcasts and fill your head with all kinds of conflicting opinions.
Yeah,
that's what we're here for.
You'll never need to make your own opinions ever again.
That's right.
It'll be great.
And we're going to just go ahead and further add to the white noise of the video game podcasts. So if that's what you want, you found the right podcast for you. So today, I think one of the things I wanted to talk about was how incredibly bizarre cell phones are.
How so?
Well, it's a weird start, but I wanted to mention that, like I said, I dropped my phone. A few people know that. I dropped my phone recently from about my height from my ear. So that's about, let's say, 5'11", so 6 feet off the ground. Screen cracked. The touch screen gets wonky. It stops working where the crack is. And then, like some kind of horror movie, over the next few hours, I noticed a purple started filling the screen. Yes, a purple.
A purple. Like
and
one unit of purple.
Yeah. And it was spreading outward like an oil spill. And it slowly started making my screen more purple and blue until 24 hours later, right now, I think we're at, I would say, 90% black and 10% blue. So
geez.
I can no longer see my screen.
So it's like 100% opaque, like you cannot see past the purple at all?
The purple is no longer purple. It's now blue. It's dark blue.
What is that? What do you think that is? I don't know.
I was hoping maybe I didn't do any research about this, but okay, it's an LED. So I'm wondering how some kind of color-like substance could leak through my screen and just fill the entire thing. And now the color got so bad that I can no longer read anything that's on my phone. It's just, it's crazy. So that happened, and it strikes me as like a horror movie. Attack
it's
of
gonna
the Purple.
break through.
It's gonna seep into my life soon, and it's just gonna, So I'm looking forward to that.
Soon the purple will grow limbs, and it will start to move. Maybe
purple.
even grow some. The purple will grow some vocal cords. You'll start to hear like just gurgling sounds.
Oh God!
Coming from like that.
I have two references I'm gonna make that are gonna go over your head. It's the monster that killed Tasha Yar, and it's the black alien substance from the X-Files.
Okay. Well, no, I didn't get either of those, but I'm guessing the first one was Star Trek.
Good job.
Yes.
And can you name the two FBI agents from the X-Files?
Yeah, I think it's I believe it's Shigeru Miyamoto and Satoru Iwata, right? No, it's Fox Mulder and Scully. I don't know if I should know the first name, and I'm drawing a blank. I have performance anxiety. Fox Mulder and
it starts with a D.
Wow. Okay, I wasn't expecting D. Man. Oh.
4 letters.
4 letters. Dana.
Yeah, good
Dana
job.
Scully. Okay. Wow, and even still, even after I got it right, it still doesn't sound right. It doesn't. I don't feel like I got the right answer. Uh,
Isn't that weird?
yeah,
How that happens? Your brain tricks you. It's the black goo. I'm sorry, it's the purple. It's the
it's the
purple.
purple.
And I just on a side note for the X-Files fans, apparently Gillian Anderson is rallying, and a number of people are rallying to get the X-Files happening again.
Yeah,
Maybe on
actually,
Amazon or something.
I read that Fox is in discussion of reviving it, like
That would be so
officially
cool.
discussing it. So who knows? I mean, that's totally possible. It'd be a good time for me to really get into X-Files. I've seen like a handful of episodes, and I've always enjoyed them. They're
Yeah.
pretty, and I've seen the movie, which was okay. It was decent.
The truth is out there, Scopey.
Yeah. What kind of phone do you have? Or like, what's the company, the
Razer.
brand? Razer.
Yeah, it was a Razor.
Who makes Razer?
Occam's Razor.
Occam.
No, it's Motorola.
So you should call Motorola like their support line and just say that you have a purple. That you dropped
the purple was consuming me.
that you dropped your phone. There's a crack, and now a purple is starting to come through. And they're gonna try to recorrect and be like, "Is it a liquid? Like, could you describe?" Like, blah blah. And you just say it's a purple.
Right.
Like, just really insist on the purple.
So the rules of this phone call are: do not explain anything about the problem except that I dropped it and now the purple.
The purple.
Right, and just see how they react. That's a good prank call because that doesn't really hurt anyone.
You should do that.
That just confuses people.
Either you should do that, or maybe one of our viewers, or I guess listeners is the right term. One of our listeners could call them and try it. Report
If
back.
they have a vivid imagination, they can view.
Yeah, they could totally visualize
Mind view.
what we look like right now.
Yeah, I am, as I said earlier, a 6 foot tall Caucasian man with just my face is just pizza.
Yep.
That's it. And KY is also he's let's say 7 feet tall, and he's got the consistency of matzo ball soup.
Oh.
You see, we
Man.
got to play up the stereotypes. I'm the pizza man.
I was going to
etc.
suggest when you said your face was pizza, I was going to say my face was matzo.
Oh, there you go.
Pizza
Pizza
matzo.
and matzo. Holy crap, that is a band name.
Pizza matzo. Or
Oh.
pizza matzo. I can say that.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, so that's the phone problem. I'm getting a replacement, but I have to go a weekend without a phone. So the purple has officially pretty much taken away my phone capabilities. So I'm going to live a simple life in the forests. I'm going to live off of nuts and berries, and I'm going to sing Kumbaya naked in the woods. So that'll be, my weekend. What have you got? Anything fun happening?
Not really. I watched a movie called Babadook.
What?
Babadook.
Okay.
And have you seen Babadook yet?
This is a real movie? What?
Yes, it is real. I thought you knew about it because, like, I brought it up too. I was like, should I tell Vinnie about this? And like Carrie was like, someone's probably already told him. I was like, yeah, you're right. But yeah, there's this movie called Babadook. You haven't heard of it?
No.
Okay, so Babadook. I'm not even kidding. That's the actual name. I'm not shitting you. It's an Australian horror movie about I don't want to spoil too much, but it's about a woman's manifestation of guilt because her husband died in a car crash, and she feels bad because she left him with a son, or left her with a son, and she she starts to experience these hallucinations, and this thing called the Babadook starts to haunt her. And the idea is the more you deny it, the stronger it gets. And I was actually going to say about your purple, the less you call, the stronger it gets.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you've got a purple, buddy. You gotta hunker down.
That's actually an interesting concept that you deny something exists and it exists more.
Right.
Is the movie good?
Yeah, I was really shocked at how much I really enjoyed it because, I mean, it got good reviews, so I should have expected to enjoy it, but for some reason I didn't. Like, I guess because of the name and, like, what it conjures up, Babadook.
Right. For those that don't know, there's an old video I made in 2010 where I pretended to be Doc Nukem. Now, you probably know, if you don't know these videos and you know anything about Duke Nukem, he doesn't sound like that. He sounds more like that a little bit. And for me, I used to say Babadook dead. And I don't fully understand why I did that, but there it is. So when I hear KY say Babadook, it makes no sense to me as a movie title
as
because
a
I just
horror
think
movie,
I think
let
about
alone
Duke
a
Nukem's
creature.
son. Yeah, it doesn't sound very scary, but all
Yeah.
right, I'll take it.
Yeah, it definitely has like a malevolent force vibe. Like it's not just like it's very psychological because the whole guilt thing, but it also has its own like manifestation. Like it doesn't feel like some horror movies where they're super vague about the thing that's haunting and shit's going wrong, but you never actually see it. The Babadook is serious shit. It actually like physically manifests, and it's really cool. The Babadook is awesome. I really recommend it.
I smile a little bit when
I
you say the
know.
name of it, but I am with you.
Oh.
I'm interested.
Yeah, I do too. Like whenever I can't say it seriously, even though I enjoy the movie and like take it seriously because of how much I enjoyed it. Well, every time I say Babadook, I still put that little,
Of course,
that twinge of accent on it. Babadook.
that's what we do. We're grown ass men, you and I, and
Yeah.
we're gonna laugh at silly things like that for the rest of our lives.
But otherwise, not much. Like I watched that movie. Picked up, been playing video games, which we'll certainly be talking about. Did you want to talk about that? Because I know we're going to talk about the Nintendo Direct later. Why don't we just talk about what kind of have you been playing any games off stream?
No,
None.
I haven't because when I'm not streaming, I tend to kind of work on a little music, or I watch some TV, or I work on stuff in relation to the stream videos or editing. So lately, no. For a little while, I was playing Fantasy Life off stream
Oh yeah.
and practicing some Smash Brothers off stream.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, the only game I really like, for example, my friends and I had, some pizza last night. Wow, me pizza, and
Yeah.
seriously, and they had a few drinks, and I wasn't really in a beer mood last night, so I was like, nah. I was like, you know what, this is a good opportunity, so they can get drunk, and I can fight them in Smash Brothers, and I'll have the upper hand.
There you go.
Right?
Surely that worked, right?
No,
Of
it did
course.
not. My friend Mike, that some of you guys may know if you're listening, he is very good at Smash Brothers. He went to some tournaments years back with his friend who taught him some really advanced stuff, and he's still really good at the game. Anyway, he, with a level of alcohol in his bloodstream, was still able to mostly kick my butt.
Wow.
I'd say I won a few times, but it was a night of Smash that was fun and yet frustrating. And believe it or not, I won twice with Mega Man.
Hey.
So Mega Man is obviously a character I'm pretty decent with. So Smash Brothers is the answer. Yeah, I've been playing some Smash off stream.
Yeah, I played a bit, like I said, over break a couple weeks ago, and I didn't touch it until we streamed it the other night. And it was fun. Like, I like it a lot. I like it a lot more than Brawl, at least.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
It's quite good.
Yeah. And I've been playing Professor Layton versus Phoenix, right? Which probably it'd be a very one-sided conversation if I were to talk to you about it, but it's good. It's I was never a big fan of Professor Layton. Like I enjoy it, but it's not huge. But the way the game brings him into the court trials is pretty badass. Like I think Layton's kind of a badass now, so that's good. I've been playing some Isaac Rebirth. What's new, I guess. I'm so close to Platinum God, I might as well just see it through.
Sure.
Oh, and Captain Toad, which I did everything but the bonus levels, and I did maybe a third of the bonus levels, and I'm kind of like underwhelmed by them. I don't know. Have you played the bonus levels yet?
I've been avoiding the bonus levels. I finished the game. I enjoyed the 3 chapters, and I streamed it.
Mm-hmm.
And I do plan on doing another stream of Captain Toad with the bonus levels. But what I've played so far, it's just repeats of previous levels with a few new mechanics. And
Right.
the mechanics themselves aren't overly fun.
They don't bring much new to the table.
So, yeah, I mean, the game itself was solid, especially for the price point. But I agree with you. The bonus levels are not something I'm looking forward to tackling. And I might not fully. I might just do a few.
Well, apparently at the very end there's some ultra hard level with the Shadow Toad thing. I forget what Mummy Me.
Okay.
So there's one of those which should be pretty entertaining to play and to watch if you make a video out of it. But you'll have to go through a bunch of really worthless bonus levels until you get there. So,
Well,
womp.
at least they attempted to fill it with content
Yeah,
that was extra.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't like Super Mario 3D World, which had one of the best. It had some of the best bonus content in any game I've ever played.
The boning content was strong because Toad is an animal. But no, I really, really love the bonus content. I agree. Super Mario 3D World was so good. The end of the game was still really, really solid. It kept you going to the very, very final level. And that is what Captain Toad lacks. Now, I get that the development of Captain Toad was kind of a side project.
Yeah.
And not so much, a full entry into the Mario series. I'm okay with that. I enjoyed what I played. It was fun.
It was good.
It made me think. Kept me on my toes. But yeah, the end game stuff, the bonus stuff is a little lame. I agree with you. Then again, I didn't expect a whole lot from a Toad game. So whatever good was in there was just extra great. So
we can agree that it is the greatest Toad game ever made.
I agree with that. Unless there's some kind of frog game that's better. That's just called Toad.
Toad.
Randomly.
Toader.
Right, Toader.
And it can be about how like toads tend to like cross streets sometimes, and then they go into a river and they go into a little alcove and then they do it again.
Yeah.
That could be what Toader is about.
That's totally awesome. Where's the kazoo? Damn it.
Hang on, I might have mine. And then the listeners just heard rustling as we frantically search for kazoos. Holy shit. What was that?
That's a jaw harp.
Oh, okay. It sounded like an actual soundbite. Like I almost imagined you having a soundboard and you pressed a button, but I knew you didn't have one, so I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Pulled that one
sadly,
out.
I now have a collection of wacky things that I'm just going to pretend I don't have. But there it was. There you go.
So here's a question about podcasts. When you listen to your podcasts, do you like having sound effects to enhance the experience?
No.
Yeah, neither do I.
No, I kind of... The only time is, okay, say there's a segment that's broken up.
Yeah.
You have one segment, then another. A little in-between clip of a few seconds, that's fine. I like that. But the podcast I listen to the most at the moment is probably Joe Rogan podcast, because he has just an assortment of comedians, scientists, actors, musicians. The dude gets so many varied people, and he's a very good podcaster. They do like 2 hours, 3 hours.
Yeah.
It's just straight through.
Yeah.
They'll play a video every now and then, but for the most part, it's just straight through, and it's just pure conversation. I enjoy that.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny that you say that, because one of my most listened to podcasts, which is Smodcast, Kevin Smith's series of podcasts, he actually had Joe Rogan on as a guest.
Oh.
So here's a question. So in the Joe Rogan podcasts, what percentage is he talking about drugs?
They start the podcast like they smoke weed usually.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean,
Joe starts by smoking weed, and then he goes live. And sometimes the guest will join him if they're up for it.
Yeah.
But how much do they talk about? It depends on the guest.
Yeah.
But quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite a bit.
That was kind of the impression I got. Like, I loved the episode. I thought it was great. Especially,
mostly psychedelics, by the way.
Yeah, they talk about DMT a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And now that's what this episode is going to turn into, like us. But
let's muse about the effects of DMT and what it
Captain
implies
Toad.
for us as right, Captain Toad. Do we see toads when we die?
Yeah.
Do we take DMT and go off into the spirit world where our spirit animal Captain Toad will guide us? Or is life just a tangerine in the eye of a turtle floating through space?
Yeah, that's deep.
I know.
That's
It means
good.
absolutely nothing, but all right.
We'll figure it out when we do DMT.
You're on.
There you go. Yeah, I guess that's about it. So we wanted to talk about the Nintendo Direct.
Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, I actually, it's kind of bad. I didn't watch it, but I looked up all the info from it, and I watched like the trailers and stuff that like were pertinent to me. Did you want to go like through like one by one, or just talk in general, or what?
Well, I would say please understand
Please
that
understand.
Please understand that the Nintendo Direct was very hyped. Even though it was only announced a few days before it went on, people were talking about it, and they were expecting probably a lot more than it was. This was the spring releases. Nintendo wanted to cover what was coming out from now until like May. So it wasn't. We didn't get a whole lot of new stuff. We maybe got a few things that I thought were pretty interesting. Some of it was a little disappointing, but overall, I think it's still worth talking about because it was 44 minutes or something like that, and there was a lot of really good stuff in there that I think would be ripe for us to talk about. So the first thing that I wanted to mention was the first thing we saw, which was Fire Emblem. The trailer for Fire Emblem, it's a new one. It's in the similar style to previous Fire Emblem, graphically.
It looked very much Awakening. It looked like Awakening 2.0, which is fine. I'm fine with that. I loved Awakening.
Now, some people actually criticize Awakening because they feel it was like a casualization of the series. And I would disagree with that. I know the magic was simplified for Awakening, but you had options in the beginning. You could make permadeath a thing, or you could turn it off. Hard mode, expert mode. You had ways to make the game difficult.
Yeah.
I just think that they nailed the formula with it.
I think they did a great job. Yeah.
Really great looking game, really fun, and I'm excited for the new one.
Yeah. I mean, there wasn't too much we could glimpse from the trailer about the new one. We just know there is a new one and that it looks a lot like Awakening. I don't know. The only thing that really stuck out funny to me was the graphics during the actual battles, like the 3D. It looked really jaggy. I don't know if it was just like my imagination or me misremembering Awakening. I don't remember it being that rough, especially because I'm playing other 3DS games right now that have 3D models that are super smooth. I mean, I understand that the 3DS doesn't have like the highest resolution, but like that just really stuck out, especially considering how smooth like the actual illustrations are in the non-battle scenes, I guess. Maybe it's just that like contrast.
I agree. I think looking at it again, there was definitely some jaggies. The 3DS has when it's in 3D mode and it's being captured, there are jaggies. But if you turn the 3D off, you get a slight bit of anti-aliasing.
Yeah.
As a streamer that streams 3DS games, I've learned this. When I stream, I try to turn the 3D off because it's a slightly smoother viewing experience. Now, I think the game looks good. I agree with that. We'll have to see when the final thing comes out. I'm excited to see where they're going to take the story, what new mechanics we're going to see. The only thing I could really get, two major points that I get from the trailer are, one, the battles zoom in, and basically when you get a battle map, it is a better looking 3D version of what you see on the battlefield. So if you're fighting on a bridge, the battle screen will zoom in and you'll see a bridge fully modeled in 3D. It's no more just generic battle locations. It's actually sensitive to where your characters are.
Yeah,
so that's a nice
awesome.
that's an immersion. I'm okay with that. And more importantly, the characters now have feet.
Yay! It took them some years to develop the technology needed to properly model feet.
Which was such a bizarre decision for the previous one. But the designers were like, we were going for a thing.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, whatever.
Going for stump legs. And now
If that's what you want, man.
Yeah.
So Fire Emblem, very excited. Can't wait for it. Hope it's as good as Awakening. I don't think it really could get to that level of Awakening, but I think it could match it, maybe, or get close. I don't know. Surpassing is what I mean would be difficult. Yeah.
Right.
So we'll see.
It's hard
High
to.
hopes.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to really. It's hard to make a trajectory
Based on a 2-minute trailer.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes as this development goes. I mean, when did they say it was going to come out? Did they say anything?
I don't think so.
Yeah. So who knows?
Could be a year or two, but that'll be a lot of time for them to develop. Next in the Nintendo Direct was Puzzles and Dragons. They showed this basically Candy Crush, whatever, and then they had like you can spend money to get more things, and then you can pass Next was Pokemon
I don't know. Wait,
Shuffle.
wait.
Sorry. Okay.
Sorry. I hear that Puzzle and Dragons, like some people are actually like really hyped for it. Like, is it an existing IP? Because I don't know anything about Puzzle and Dragons.
From what I understand, it's just it's an existing IP that it's a popular puzzle game, and Nintendo is putting a dual pack on the 3DS. So you get Puzzles and Dragons Z, and then you get the Super Mario Brothers edition.
Do they collect Dragon Balls?
You know, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised. You know, looking at it again, they look like Dragon Balls actually. Looking at it again while we're speaking, I can tell you that I have no idea what's happening in this game.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, based on your description, it sounds horrendous, but at the same time,
No, I'm sure it's okay.
Who knows? I mean, like at the same time, I like a couple of match 3 type games, like especially the ones where it goes beyond match 3, like what's it called, Tetris Attack, and like all the things that came from Tetris Attack, because that was pretty cerebral. Like, because whenever you would move something, it would stay in wherever you move it, so you could set up chains in advance. Whereas, like, I guess the Bejeweled model is it swaps back if it doesn't make a match, in which case you can't set up any chains yourself. It's just more or less luck.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, I guess it's more like Bejeweled, but I do have a soft spot for the right kind of design in that type of game. Like if it's, like I said, if it's more like Tetris Attack or Pokemon Puzzle League or what was it on the...
was really good.
Yeah, Meteos was good. What was it? There's another one on the DS. Planet Puzzle League is what it was called. And that was excellent. But we'll see. I mean, based on your description, I would certainly pass on it.
I would. The only reason I say pass is because I don't like the fact that it's got... it looks like it has a pay to win. Not pay to win, it's got cash shop. You know, you can... The thing about the game is you level up characters.
Yeah. And
the puzzle mechanics are the way you fight.
Right.
So if you basically, just play the game as is, I'm sure it's a little, it's fun. It's a puzzle game. You can level your characters. There's a sense of progression. I can see why the game would probably get big. But the thing that I noticed was, this is Nintendo's, I think their first foray into a cash shop where it's like buy these tokens with real money and then you can buy helpful items in the game.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason I really say pass, because I'm not really interested in that element of the game. In reality, it looks all right. For a puzzle game, I'm sure it'll be okay.
Yeah, we'll see.
It depends. If you like puzzle games, you might enjoy it.
I gotta recommend for that type of game as an example of like one that's done well and still sticks with the Bejeweled style matching. There's one called Gridland. So guys, you should check out Gridland. It's made by the guy who made A Dark Room. If you played that, I'm gonna be making. As this podcast goes on, you're going to realize I'm just an indie shill, and I just recommend shitty indie games all the time. But in all seriousness, you should play this game called Gridland. I just linked it to you in Skype. So check that out. I think you'll enjoy it.
Cool.
It's kind of similar where you are matching things in order to build up a character, but in this case it starts with a day phase and a night phase. So during the day phase, you're using things to build different huts and like eventually buildings and things, and the buildings affect what you have during night phase. And night phase, you're fighting monsters and leveling up and stuff.
Okay.
So
interesting. Well, I mean, that sounds kind of interesting, and that's a little different.
It's good.
Yeah.
You should certainly check it out.
Next in the Nintendo Direct was another puzzle game called Pokemon Shuffle, which is basically puzzle and dragons.
You mean it's not
Pokemon.
A dancing game? I thought Pokemon Shuffle was a dancing game.
As far as I can tell, the only dancing you're going to be doing here is with the music, the sweet-ass catchy tunes, while Pikachu is looking at you with this intense look of love in his eyes. Can a man truly love a Pokemon? Anyway, Pokemon Shuffle is a kind of... it's a free thing that's on the eShop, and it's basically a game where it's similar to Puzzle and Dragons. I think it's basically trying to get you familiar with the concept. Also, I am mistaken. I want to take back what I said about Puzzle and Dragons. Puzzle and Dragons is a standalone game that comes with Mario Brothers Edition. There is no cash shop in that game.
Oh.
I am going to retract my mistake mid-podcast. I think this is the first time this has ever happened.
That's probably a good idea because, I mean, just based on the way people were talking about it, I was like, oh man, someone's going to write in being like, "Oh, Vinny, you didn't say that right about the game. It's not pay to win.
Actually,
It's precious match free."
it's actually Pokemon Shuffle. That's the cash shop.
Oh, okay.
I got confused. They're both so similar. So, I mean, if you watch the Nintendo Direct, you'd see what I'm talking about. Anyway, so that is something. I guess I apologize. Yeah, it's Pokemon Shuffle has the cash shop, and it's not for me. Next, though, Wii games on the Wii U.
Oh, yeah.
So-
I'm shocked by how many people don't own a Wii U yet. Like, both in, like, the podcasts I listen to, because I listen to a number of video game podcasts, too, and like, people in chat and things like that. I'm really shocked by how many people don't have a Wii U yet. It's so good. I love it. But,
It's. I went to. I was at a Game Champ yesterday, actually, to see if they had the Majora's Mask 3DS. Anyway, yeah, the people were talking about the Wii U like it was great, but no one had it.
yeah. And
Yeah.
the thing is, the Wii was the big hit. Wii was a huge hit, but Wii U is such a better console for gamers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just like, because really what it comes down to is the gamepad is kind of like the bottom screen of a Nintendo DS. So if you like the Nintendo DS, then you should love the Wii U because it's just the home console version of a DS, essentially.
Yeah.
But for some reason, people don't see it like that. They see it like, oh, the gimmicky screen. Like,
Or
see
they
it-
don't understand what it is.
Yeah.
I've said this a few times, but the Wii U name
It's
was
a dumb
probably
name.
very, very bad. And I think a lot of people, parents, adults that don't know about video games or otherwise, think that the Wii U is an add-on for the Wii.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah.
So, but Wii games are now, coming to the Wii U.
Mm-hmm.
You have 3, starting with Mario Galaxy 2, which is already up.
Yeah.
And for a limited time, apparently it's $10 in the US as opposed to 20.
Oh, wow. I did not realize it would be that cheap.
Well, the best one, Metroid Prime Trilogy,
Oh,
comes out in a few weeks.
thank
That'll
God.
be $10 when it launches.
Oh, I'm
3
getting that.
Metroid Prime games for $10.
I think I might stream Metroid Prime when that comes out because I haven't played it in like several years, and it's my favorite Metroid game in the entire series. And I'd never played the trilogy. I didn't play Metroid. Played Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, which was
You missed Metroid Prime 2?
no, I played all 3 of them,
Oh,
but
I gotcha,
in the
gotcha.
sense that it had the control scheme that the trilogy has. So I know what it feels like. But I didn't get to play my favorite one of the 3 using that control scheme and with, I guess, the higher resolution and stuff. So I'm very excited for Metroid Prime Trilogy.
That's a definite purchase for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking for a copy of it. That's one of those games that you could get in the steel case.
Uh-huh.
It came with the steel case.
I think Fred has it.
$100
Yep.
on eBay. 220, and it's like, I went to GameStop. At one point, I really wanted this thing, and I looked for it, couldn't find it anywhere. So now that it's $10, it's downloadable. I think Nintendo has definitely made a very smart move with that. It will be 20. These games, the Wii games, will be 20 when this little promotion is over.
That's probably
But-
fair.
I mean, I guess it's I mean, listen, for Metroid Prime Trilogy, for example, $20 is still amazing.
That's a steal.
Let me ask you a question though. Where are the GameCube games?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, for all we know, the Wii U, well, it's hard to say because the Wii was able to do GameCube games because they were kind of like, they were very similar. Like, for example, like how the Dolphin emulator plays both Wii and GameCube games. This is from a mostly technically uninformed opinion, by the way, before anyone goes off on me about it. But I imagine it's kind of the similar case where the Wii U doesn't have the needed architecture to play GameCube games. But I mean,
Maybe
then
not
there's
yet.
emulation. But I don't know if the Wii U's like processor is powerful enough to emulate a GameCube game, whereas a Wii game it can already play natively.
Right, because it has the hardware already intact
Right.
in the system.
So it might need like if they were gonna do GameCube games, for all we know, it would maybe emulation would be the only choice, like how they would do it with the 64 games on the Wii.
Right.
In which case, It just might not be powerful enough. Who knows?
As an uninformed, self-proclaimed uninformed opinion for that, I have to say that sounds pretty good.
It's a good
I buy
hypothesis,
it.
at least.
I buy it. Even if it's not the answer, I'm convinced that that's the answer.
There you go.
Whatever the case is, though, one can assume that, Nintendo would make a killing off of releasing a GameCube game, once a month. Mario Sunshine, maybe upscale it, put it on the system. Obviously the technical limitations aside, let's talk about, say, Nintendo figures it out. It would be really lucrative for them. And now that people have, there's a lot of people that have the GameCube controllers for Smash and the adapter. Extra incentive. If someone has the GameCube stuff required, I think it's a little bit more, it's easier to play the games, A, and 2, B, if you see them on the system, you're going to be like, oh, I have the controller for that. I'll buy it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and those games are hard to find, the old GameCube games, unless you emulate them. Finding them in the store, like Mario Sunshine, some of the ones that you really want, it can be challenging. So I hope Nintendo eventually figures it out and gets some GameCube games on the Wii U as well.
Yeah, I hope so. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Be great.
Now, let me ask you another question, though, about the Wii games coming to the Wii U. So that the games aren't upscaled. You know that if you own the game already, there's no point. That being said, if you do, like, would you buy the games that you missed or that you lost or that
Sure, why not? I mean, because think of it this way: if you wanted to play one of those games and that service didn't exist, you wouldn't not buy them on the grounds that they're not modern. You wouldn't buy them on the grounds that they're not upscaled and all these things. So this is, of course, you can be disappointed that those games weren't upscaled on like the newer service, but to flat out not buy it because of that when you get the urge to play those games is silly. When it wouldn't be a thing if you were doing it on, without that service, if that makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense. Yes,
it's very rambly, but I think that made sense.
It's basically, why let that stop you from games that you really want?
If I wanted to play Metroid Prime and it wasn't gonna be on the Wii U and I really wanted to play it, I would find a way to play it on the GameCube, and that would be it. It would just be what it is. Now that service is here, I could say, it's a bummer it's not upscaled, but I wouldn't be like, oh, I'm not gonna play that. Yeah, I really want to, but I'm not gonna, because they could have upscaled it and they didn't.
Yeah.
What is wrong with them?
Exactly. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I really don't mind.
Yeah.
As long as the game is there, it's available. Otherwise, I'd have to spend $100 on Metroid Prime Trilogy. Now I can buy it for $10. So good job, Nintendo. I think that was a good move. One of my highlights of the Direct.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on, Kirby and the Rainbow Curse, it was covered next, and I don't really have much of an opinion on that. It looks nice graphically. You have to draw like the little platforms, and Kirby goes along them.
Right. I played Kirby's Canvas Curse on the DS, and it was a great game. It was very underrated. It beat the shit out of the Yoshi version of the same gimmick.
Oh,
I forget what it was even called. The Yoshi
know
one,
what you're talking about,
but it was bad in comparison. The Kirby one was great, and really Kirby games are always good. Like even the worst Kirby games are still like fun, fairly solid games.
True.
I can't think of a Kirby game that's ever come out that I was like, ugh.
Same here. Maybe they're a little on the easy side,
right?
But it doesn't stop me from enjoying the games.
Like even, I'm sure some people are going to say, but what about Epic Yarn? But I actually liked Epic Yarn a lot, especially playing it co-op is really good. And it's very charming. It's got a great aesthetic. At times it's a little easy, but there are some really tough levels in there too that people probably just didn't get to because they dismissed it so early. The downside to Epic Yarn was the lack of, like, one of the things that makes Kirby really good, especially the classic Kirby games, are how you got to choose which abilities you want based on the enemies you had around you. So there was a degree of freedom there, where Epic Yarn, you don't really have that freedom because you don't steal enemies' abilities in the same way,
right?
If at all. So,
I actually haven't played it. It looked nice.
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
I liked it. I'm probably in the minority, But overall, I had a good experience with it. So
And that's the thing about the Canvas Curse game. It looks great. It's clay come to life, and
yeah,
it looks like when you look at the game, you think it's done by hand, and it very well could have been. And I'm okay with that. It looks nice. Will I buy it? I'm not sure. I never played Canvas Curse. What do you feel? Do you think you might get it, Rainbow Curse?
sure. I mean, I don't know for sure if I'm going to, but there's definitely a possibility that I will.
Especially based on the fact that you liked Canvas Curse.
Right. Yeah. I
Okay,
mean,
fair enough.
they did a great job with Canvas Curse. That was a super solid game. So I don't see why not. I don't see why I wouldn't at least consider it. I still haven't played Triple Deluxe, so I got to do that.
Very, very good game.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the better Kirby games that ever came out.
Yeah. So I definitely needed to do that at some point. So, I mean, there are some series where I play them a generation behind because it's easier in my wallet, and there are other more pressing games for the more expensive stuff.
Agreed.
Or like for various reasons, really. But I haven't played Triple Deluxe, so I bet you by the time Canvas Curse comes out, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna want to play this at some point. I should do Triple Deluxe now.
Right, and you get it for $20 or something.
Right. Yeah.
Next in the direct was the Amiibos, and
Amiibs.
now I don't really want to talk too much about Amiibos because there's really not a whole lot you can say. They're little figures that you tap on your gamepad. That's it, and things happen. Smash Brothers, you can fight them.
Yeah.
They're a nice little idea for collectors, people that like to have little statues of Mario stuff. It's cool. I've got a few.
They're
I've
called
got
dolls.
more than a few.
You can call them dolls. It's okay. They're dolls.
The Turbo Man doll, Jamie.
But
You're not the doll. Excuse me.
I saw that there's a NES one, and I want that because I'm a Mother fan.
Yeah, there's that. I mean, there's Robin. There's Pit. There's a lot of characters I really love, and I want to see if I can grab one. But now there's the new Amiibo line. It's the Mario Brothers Amiibos, which it's just Amiibos with different poses for the characters and Toad.
Would you get a Captain Toad Amiibo?
Well, that's what I wanted to talk about next. So let's go there real quick.
Sure.
Captain Toad has Amiibo functionality, or will soon, with the Toad Amiibo, where they hide little toads throughout the levels.
Mm-hmm.
Now, almost every level has a little Luigi hidden in it, and that was free. Now you have to
there's a little
buy
Luigi in the levels?
in most of the levels, in my understanding.
Oh my god. I played through the whole game and I didn't find one. I didn't.
I know.
That's so weird. Okay.
Hidden Luigi, Captain Toad.
Toad.
Yep, hidden Luigi sprites in Captain Toad.
I thought that the Toad Amiibo would unlock Toader as a mini game, but you can't hope for everything.
I know. You do what you can. You hope for the best, but instead you get hidden toads. And the thing is, yes, I am looking at there's a video that actually shows you a large number of hidden Luigis.
Wow.
So that was free. Now you have to buy an Amiibo to get hidden toads. I'm not really crazy about the Amiibo functionality for Captain Toad. I don't think it's anything special. But would I buy the Amiibo?
Well, and I was going to... Wait, so do you need to buy them separately? Like you buy the Amiibo and you buy the extra toads? Or the toads hidden in the levels? Or does it just come with... I mean, you just buy the Amiibo, right?
You buy the Amiibo, you tap it, and then you get to find hidden toads.
I'm sure some people would argue, really, that the functionality, like just like the Luigis, the toads are free as well, and really you're just paying for the Amiibo.
Sure.
But... Because it's not like the Amiibo, it's not like it's singular use. I'm sure you can use the Toad Amiibo in a lot of different stuff.
Right. Well, you could probably...
Yeah.
Exactly. You use it in a few other games, or you have it on your shelf because you're a fan of Toad.
And that's where your doll collection is.
That's with the Turboman doll. It's their action figures. Listen, my Amiibos are fully non-posable, and they just sit there on my shelf.
Yeah.
So, but I do, I like the Amiibo stuff. And the new ones are cool, and there's some of them are just really hard to find. But recent sales figures, I think the Amiibos in total, I'm not sure if this is just North America, but it was something like 2.5 million.
Wow.
Which is double how many units the game Super Smash Bros. Wii U sold.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty impressive. I didn't realize that. I mean, I knew that they were doing pretty well, but that's really well. Like, that's more well than I would have guessed, at least.
Nintendo... Let's just face it here. The Wii U did not sell as well as they had hoped. The projections were probably really high after the Wii, and the Wii U comes out and it's not doing so great. So in a way, this Amiibo stuff and some of the other little things that we were talking about, like the DLC they're now dabbling in, that kind of stuff recovers a lot of the money that they lost. I feel. So I mean, hey, you know what? As long as Nintendo keeps popping out software that I like, great. I don't have to buy the Amiibos if I don't want to.
Yep.
But I want to buy the ones that I like. Robin, Pit, my mains in Smash Brothers, and I'll be happy.
Yeah.
So that's the Amiibo thing. Mario Party 10 has Amiibo functionality.
Oh boy.
Just little like dumb levels that you can put an Amiibo to, and it's really not anything special, but you get like a little mini board that you can play on. And the game itself looks all right. What do you think? Did Mario Party leave any lasting impression on you? Would you buy a new one, or are you done with that series?
I could buy a new one just on the grounds that I haven't bought one since Mario Party 2.
Oh wow.
And there are a number of classic series where after a long time of not playing them and having fallen out of touch with them, that I say to myself, I should check out this series again. Then I get the latest one. Like Pokemon was a good example. I'd only played Pokemon Red, and that was it. Like seriously, I didn't play Gold. I didn't play all those. And then when Black and White came out, no, it wasn't Black and White. It was X and Y.
X and Y.
Yeah, I got Pokemon Y.
I got X, and also same exact thing. I had only played Red, waited however many years, and then got X.
Yeah. So it could be the same for Mario Party, where I'm like, because especially since we find a use for those local party games more and more, like playing in the office and stuff. And like, what was I gonna say? Oh, since I have that interest, it might be good to get a new Mario Party game just to have it and bust out sometimes, because I don't have any others to go to.
Good point. That's kind of where I feel like Mario Party left me a bit, because I had stuck with the series, and I probably have most of the Mario Party games. Because I just figured my friends are coming over, why not have a party game?
Yeah.
Franchise fatigue set in. As a streamer, I might get Mario Party 10 just because it's fun for the stream. And it would be probably a lot of fun to have Mike and some of my friends come over and just mess around. That
Right.
being said, Mario Party 10 looks okay. I think it would be a better purchase for someone like you who has only played a few of them, as opposed to me that, I'm a little bit sick of the series.
Yeah, totally.
So
Even though I haven't played them in a long time, or haven't owned one in a long time, I could still see myself getting it and just being like, because it's so prevalent, like you see Mario parties everywhere. I could see myself playing it and just being like, okay, I get it. That was nothing new.
you walk down the street,
Yeah.
you hear noises coming from a house. It's a Mario Party. You sweat. You walk faster. You get away from the Mario Party. You continue walking down the street. You look to your left. The lights are on. Big screen TV. It's a me, Mario. It's another Mario Party. Now you're really frantic. You're scared. You see Mario Parties every day, everywhere. You just want to get away from them for one single solitary minute. You get to the pier. A boat passes by. They're playing Mario Party on the boat. You decide to jump.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel.
Good.
You got it.
All right, great. So I got that. Next up is Splatoon. How do you feel about Splatoon?
Looks okay. I don't know. I don't have too many thoughts on Splatoon. Like, I think competitively, the concept is interesting, and if they can come up with the mechanics to complement the main mechanic, or if they can come up with like for example, so the central core mechanic is painting over and painting dictating what you control, the zone you control, and then trying to get the most control of the map, more control of the map than the other team. If they can come up with ways to complement that core mechanic with like sub mechanics, like different guns that do different things and maybe different classes.
That's what they have now.
Yeah, and that's what. Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch the trailer. It's terrible. I was like, well, we're gonna talk about Nintendo Direct. Maybe I should watch that. Nope. But I did look up screenshots and I saw a breakdown of it. So since they've done that, I'm more interested. But it's not like a huge hitter in my mind. I'm not like, yeah, Splatoon.
Sure, yeah.
But it looks
I'm
cool. It could be a lot of fun.
I think it looks fun, and I think the most recent gameplay footage looks more polished, and I'm very excited to check out more of it. As I watch it, now I'm actually kind of catching up on it a little bit. Yeah, it's just looks like a lot of fun just to mess around with. There's a single player mode, which was announced recently, and the multiplayer stuff. And then there's a central hub, which they announced at this Nintendo Direct, and it looks like, looks kind of cool. As for different weapons, you get a primary weapon, a sub weapon, and like a super weapon or like a grenade or something. And basically, you get plenty of different options. You know how like, in some class-based games, you can choose a weapon that has a higher attack speed but slightly lower damage?
Right.
Same thing.
Oh, okay.
So you have lots of options, and there are ways to like there's sniper rifles, there's giant paint brushes, there's like walls of paint that you can create. I think the game looks cool, and there's the store. The store allows you to, you earn money from completing matches and stuff, and then you buy clothes and weapons that you like. So it looks like there's some depth here, which I didn't see at first at E3.
So, question.
Yeah.
Would you be more or less interested in Splatoon if instead of Splatoon the cast was Mario characters and they marketed it like a new Mario, not a Mario Party the brand, but like a Mario Party game, like
a
new
Mario Sunshine type game.
Like how they have all the different Mario sports games, and then they have Mario Party, like one of those, just another multiplayer Mario entry.
I would be more interested.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would be.
Yeah, I think most people would say the same, but at the same time, people are really quick to be like, Nintendo doesn't have new IPs. It's something, I don't know. I feel like if they had made a more interesting, because like one thing about Splatoon is it seems very nondescript to me. Like it's definitely very lively and cartoony, but the characters don't stay in your mind like the cast of Team Fortress 2 or
Correct.
something. If they came up with a more what's the word I'm looking for?
Distinct or memorable.
Yeah, a more contagious.
Yeah.
Like team of characters and like a visual style like to match that, and like things that you could see that it really stands as its own thing and not just a generic thing with interesting mechanics, then they would do better. That would be the best. But as it is, it's like I said, I don't really even remember much about how it looks like other than it looked very cartoony. I don't remember like the character design very well.
It's
if it was, yeah.
It's like, Jet Set Radio meets Squids.
Yeah. And the central mechanic is cool. Like I feel there's a lot of potential there competitively, and just casually too, just that's a fun thing to do. So that's great, but I feel like the design could be better.
I'm 100% with you. The character design doesn't really do a whole lot for me. It looks aesthetically pleasing, but for me, what the contagious element of the game is the paint and the way that you utilize the paint. The characters do not stand out.
Yeah, if it feels good to paint things and it's a well-tuned experience and a well-polished and designed thing, then it will be a really good game. Totally.
Now you mentioned. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say that I don't have a feeling that it will catch on because of the reasons that I said. But if it's a good game, it's a good game, and I'll certainly check it out.
Probably be for me. I kind of expect it to be like a cult hit.
Yeah.
People will buy it, but it's not going to be a million seller. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's a great game, and I hope that Nintendo made a fantastic new IP. Mm-hmm. But if it's a cult game and it's still good, I'm okay with that too. But you mentioned like people give Nintendo shit because Nintendo seems to be afraid to try out new things with new IPs or start new IPs. The argument is, and I've read this, I think Nintendo even commented on it, they have a lot of new ideas. They just apply them to their old IPs.
Right.
Like Super Mario Sunshine, the mechanics of the game were pretty different than Mario 64. With the water, the jetpack, cleaning stuff up, the paint, which is incidentally a bit like Splatoon. But if they had done Super Sponge Sunshine, utilizing some no name nonsense
Right.
IP character and like a different art style, it wouldn't have sold as well.
Yeah.
So Nintendo, they said to themselves, well, we have so many different characters, we have so many different IPs. If we have a great idea, like here, we got this idea for sailing, this giant open world, and there's like various locations. You have to take a sailboat, and you get to each location, and you do things, and you make. Oh wait, that's Zelda.
They're like,
So
oh
let's-
wait, that sounds boring as shit. No, I'm just kidding.
Right. I mean, at first it does, and it kind of is a little bit if you're going slow. The fast sail fixed that in Wind Waker HD.
Oh,
But anyway,
I gotta get that too. Sorry, I just remembered.
the feeling, and it's very good. The thing about it is, yeah, Nintendo does try new stuff, but they usually try the new stuff with the older franchises. So Splatoon, like you said, could have very, very easily have been
Right.
a Mario Sunshine type game where you have two teams of like Bowser Jr. type things, or like paint Shadow Marios, and the other team tries to clean it up or something very easily. But I think I give Nintendo credit for trying something a little different and saying
Totally.
to everyone, listen, we're going to try a new IP, new characters, new world. Let's give it a shot. So
Yeah, absolutely.
hopefully it works out. But I agree with you. I'm with you on the character design and just the stickiness of it. It doesn't really
It doesn't stick.
doesn't stick as much.
They're not shooting glue; they're shooting paint.
You
So.
just see the paint and you don't see a whole lot else, in my opinion. But so it's good. But we'll see.
Yeah. What about Project Sperm?
Oh man, what a great game that is.
I mean, Project Steam.
Codename Steam.
Code. Yeah, yeah,
I just pre-ordered it
yeah.
because it comes with the Majora's Mask pin.
Oh, that's a good reason.
No, I was gonna get it anyway.
It looks really cool, and Intelligent Systems always puts out great stuff.
So my opinion about Intelligent Systems is exactly the same. I love them, and I know strategy games handled by them are good, and I'm excited because I do like strategy games.
Uh-huh.
I like the Fire Emblem Amiibo stuff. That was a nice little addition. The game just looks fun. It looks like a new concept, a new take on the strategy genre, and I don't love the art style. I think the art style is just good, not great. And I want to play it. I think it'll be cool. But that being said, my expectations for it are tempered.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel about that.
Cool.
How about you? What do you think? You're gonna pick it up, maybe?
Yeah. I mean, there's always a maybe. I really like. I like all games, and that sounds so. It sounds narcissistic, and it sounds like idealist. I guess.
What are you, hippie? You love everything?
Like I have this big, like, people see me as like the indie guy at Vinesauce. I only play indie games and stuff, but like at the end of the day, I can't think of a lot of games that I don't find any enjoyment out of. So like there are very few games where I'm like, nope, no chance in hell I'm picking that up. Like
Have you,
if
have you played
it,
Rock Simulator by chance?
not yet. Oh,
Okay, never mind then.
but so as long as it is a decent game and clearly has some polish behind it, there's always a chance that I might pick it up. There's nothing where I'm just like, nope, not gonna get that. Sorry, except for maybe like Call of Duty, Advanced Warfare. That doesn't interest me very much. But
Because
even
you know what you would be getting.
yeah, more or less.
Same thing as the past many iterations, or at least extremely similar.
Yeah. So maybe it definitely looks very interesting, and I like Intelligent Systems other games. Like I like Advanced Wars and I like Fire Emblem. So why not?
That's how I feel, and I do like the way it's a little bit different. With you can move around freely, at the cost of Steam.
Yeah.
Some nice little mechanics going on there, and I am very interested to get my hands on that game.
A little bit of a off topic. Did you ever play Steam World Dig?
No, I know all about it though. I know what it is. It's a 3DS eShop game, and now on the Wii U, there's a version of it,
And on Steam.
and on Steam too. Okay, no, how is it? You like it?
It's fantastic. It's like it pretty much feels like Spelunky and Terraria meets Super Metroid.
Oh wow.
and it's really good. But the reason I brought it up too, well, first off, just so I could hopefully convince you to try it out, because I know that you'd really like it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I think you would have a great time with it. But also because they announced a sequel.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, it's called SteamWorld Heist, which I don't know. The reason I really like SteamWorld Dig was because it had such a great central mechanic, and they really designed the whole game around it just wonderfully. But the new one, it definitely breaks away from it because it's in space now, like it's on aboard a spaceship. But I can't say much until I have more details.
Sure.
Other than I'm cautious, but
No, you have to be a little cautious. But if the game has those combinations of elements, I'm sure it's going to be just as good as the previous one.
well, I don't know what the new one's gonna be like. It could be totally different.
Oh, it could be completely
Right.
Right.
I mean,
Gotcha.
it's still 2D and it has the same art style. Or you use it as a 2D space, I should say. But like it doesn't look like it's gonna have the whole digging part of the game like the original was almost completely based around.
I understand. So more Super Metroid, less digging, less spelunky, less.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. It seems like it's closer to the Super Metroid side. But the thing is, the first one had a huge, like, it doesn't look like it would, but it has a very large Super Metroid vibe to it. Because as you're digging deeper, you eventually find these like little challenge rooms, and at the end they have the equivalent of a Kozo statue or a Chozo statue that gives you a new ability for your digger. To that helps you either be more mobile or attack enemies in a better way, and different abilities. So it definitely has a very strong Super Metroid vibe about it. Like if you play it, you'll see what I mean.
Don't make me buy this game.
You should. You really
You're
should.
you're
It's
getting
good.
me like I have too many games to play right now, but now I want to play SteamWorld Dig. Damn it.
Yeah, like to me that's definitely a very Vinnie game.
Is it?
Yeah,
Damn it.
absolutely.
All right.
You'll like it
you
a
might
lot.
have sold me on it.
There you go. And
Now,
then
yeah.
more indie shekels in the pocket for me.
Well, hang on. There's plenty of indie games that were covered on the Nintendo Direct. They were talking about Elliot Quest's Project Treasure is a new game that I don't know what's going on with that. I don't want to talk about it because there's no information, but
Yeah.
that's not indie. There's a game called Black Citizens of Earth, Gunman Clive 2, Moon Chronicles. I'm a big Renegade Kid fan. I can't wait for the next episodes of Moon Chronicles. Yeah, I mean, there's Fossil Fighters Frontier, Story of Seasons. These are just some of the games that they announced that they're going to be supporting.
Yeah.
I'm happy to see Nintendo embrace the indie scene and kind of get some of these games. Obviously, Meme Run was the fucking the fucking ambassador of best indie games.
Yep, of course.
But Nintendo, what are you doing? Why'd you put Meme Run on your system?
I know.
Where's Binding of Isaac? Get Isaac on, get Meme Run off. Hashtag fuck my life.
Yeah, I made people vote with their money, and apparently Meme Run sold well enough to be put on the front. Or that I don't know. Actually, I don't know. I got to look up how that game performed because it's still there. It's not like they took a risk and then it bombed.
Right.
Because if that was the case, it wouldn't be there anymore.
No, people are buying it ironically, so they can make jokes about
How
having.
much is it? Is it like $1?
I don't know. I don't know much about it other than a video I've seen, and it's like just stop.
Yeah.
As a streamer, I hate it even more because I get at least 3 or 4 to 5 or more emails a week about playing it.
Yeah.
Vungel, you should play new best game.
Vubri. Have you...
Run.
Mem run. Mimi.
So
Or-
what can you do? People. It's
Vubro, have
it's
you heard
ironic.
of this?
Yeah, it's just
Vobly.
Vobbly, Illumin Vobbly. You should play the fucking Meme Run because the Illuminati are in it. It's seriously, it's just people that play it don't actually like the game. It's not about that. It's just people bragging that they have it and on being ironic about it. So,
Yeah.
as a result, though, you're making this company money, so maybe you guys should probably stop buying it. But
Yeah. Don't spend your money ironically, or you will be very sad. You will not be able to sleep.
and
You're
you'll
gonna
open the door,
You're gonna regret many choices in your life.
and then you'll rest in pepperoni. See, now I'm fucking spouting memes. I'm gonna stop. Sorry.
Pepperoni and cheese. Cheese.
All right. Let's get back on track. I wanted to mention the Hyrule Warriors DLC just for a moment.
Sure.
Tingle and Young Link are the characters. Young Link uses masks to transform, including the Fierce Deity mask.
Pretty good.
It looks kind of cool. I'm okay with that.
Uh-huh.
Tingle, however, people were getting very disappointed about.
Really?
People wanted Skull Kid, and they got Tingle.
Well, I mean, Skull Kid be cool. Well, I don't know. Now I kind of do want Skull Kid more than I
Right?
would want Tingle.
They
But-
gave us a Skull Kid costume for Lana. Another
But I
character.
can't say I'm disappointed with Tingle though.
He is
You
a
can't say.
fantastic character with depth and
Yeah.
emotion, and he looks great in the game. He uses his balloons, and he beats people with his sack of rupees.
And he Kulu Limpas all
He-
over the battlefield.
Oh my god. There is not a single dry pantaloon in the battlefield. So, just for the record, the DLC, just to get it out of the way very quickly, I think Tingle and Young Link are, as a fan of Hyrule Warriors, as someone who has the season pass for the DLC, I'm excited for Tingle because I actually, at first, only liked Tingle ironically, but after playing his Rupee Rosie Land game on the DS, it's actually kind of a great game.
Yeah,
And
that's
now
what
I
I've
think
heard.
Tingle will be a fun character to use. So, just saying.
Yeah, yeah. I gotta get Hyrule Warriors still. I'm sure I would enjoy it. So, I mean, the Dynasty Warrior type gameplay doesn't look amazing to me, but I'm still sure I'd like it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's good,
Yeah.
but it's an acquired taste perhaps. Just to move on, talk about another few games very quickly.
Sure.
Xenoblade Chronicles X,
Oh yeah.
the newest trailer looks great.
It looks awesome.
The character models not so much,
No.
but
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
the world itself looks great.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it for me being a Xenogears fan, one of my favorite JRPGs ever. They made it concurrently with Final Fantasy VIII, just so you understand like what era it's from, I guess. To see in Xenoblade Chronicles X having the giant mechs that are roughly the size of a gear, as they were in Xenogears. The gear is what they called the mechs.
Gotcha.
It definitely looks to me that gives me a lot of warm feelings to see the mechs that look like gears and to move in that direction is awesome. And it's definitely going to, I feel that traversing and battling in the gears will complement the giant world that they're clearly focusing on.
Yeah.
Overall, that just looks great. I'm very excited. I mean, Xenoblade was a great game. I liked it a lot. And the models of Xenoblade Chronicles X look pretty bad, but that's not gonna. I don't care too much. If it's a good story or a decent story, if it's a good world, because that's what I really loved about the original, was the Bionis, the world of the Bionis and Mechanis, and it's exploring that world. And if it has a good battle system, which I'm sure it will, because it looks generally the same, and the new edition of the mechs, I'm excited for it. I think it's gonna be solid.
Cool. As someone who has not played Xenogears or Xenoblade, it looks good. I'm intimidated by it, and I'm afraid it's going to take me 100 hours to complete it.
Yeah, that's for
So-
sure. I mean, Xenoblade, even if you don't do side quests, that's still at least like 40 hours, 40 or 50.
Yeah.
I did very few of the side quests deliberately when I did play. I did some of them early on until I realized how many there were. There's a stupid amount of side quests in Xenoblade, of which maybe like 3 of them are interesting.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I know. So at like about 10 hours, 15 hours in, I decided to switch gears and just do the plot and do side quests as they, because usually you complete them just from battling, like naturally. So I was like, okay, whatever side quests I complete is what I'll take, and otherwise I'm going to focus on the plot. I never beat Xenoblade. I got pretty far, and I was 45 hours in when I stopped. 45, 50 hours.
Wow.
It's
That's substantial.
actually, I can look up. Have you heard of a website called howlongtobeat.com?
Yes, actually.
Let's check out Xenoblade and see what it is real quick. Xenoblade. So main story, just the main story is 67 hours on average.
God.
Main and some extra, like some side quests. Oh, come on, load. I went to the more detailed page. Okay, main and some extras, 102 hours.
Oh my God.
completionist, like getting everything, 170 hours.
You get your money's worth.
Speed run. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Speed run average 30 hours. Yeah.
That's as much time as I'm willing to, as a streamer, that's as much time as I'm willing to sink into a game sometimes.
Yeah.
Because I get bored and I like to have some variety in my streaming. And if I'm going to spend 67 hours on a single game, I mean, I don't play games for 8 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
So that would take me months and months and months to complete.
Yeah. I would recommend checking it out at some point if you ever find it cheap, or if you ever look into Dolphin
It's coming
emulation.
out of the 3DS.
Oh, yeah, that's
The
right.
new 3DS.
Oh,
which was,
that's we got to talk about that.
that was the segue, right?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Nailed
New
it.
3DS. We know it's coming out February 13th. And one of the games that's exclusive for it that will be coming out, I think, in March or April, is Xenoblade Chronicles 3D.
Mm-hmm.
So at the moment, there's not a whole lot of other exclusive stuff that I'm aware of. It seems like, the extra hardware, the extra processing power on the new 3DS is really only being utilized by Xenoblade Chronicles 3D at the moment. So I might check it out. I might be tempted. Are you going to get a new Nintendo 3DS?
I would like to at some point, because I never got a 3DS XL. Mostly because I like my 3DS just fine. I never need a bigger one. And when I did play the XL, it felt good. Like, it felt better overall. But the screen, I didn't like how the screen looked, because I feel like the pixels were bigger, which I don't know if that's horseshit or not. But there's something about the display
You
that
can
I
see
feel
the
like
gaps between the pixels.
Yeah, I
Very
feel like
slow, yeah.
the pixels are chunkier, and like it makes
Chunky.
the image blurrier. And I don't know. I wasn't feeling how it looked. But I did like the screen size. So like I'll probably get the new 3DS XL. That's a mouthful.
Yeah,
but
it is.
I'll probably get it at some point. I'll probably get it sooner if the display is not like the XL in that sense.
I don't think. I think it probably will be.
Probably,
I'll say this though:
but
you do get used to it very, very quickly.
I'm sure I would get over it really fast, and the bigger screen size would be great. Especially because I feel like the 3D effect is better on the XL.
Yeah, and the new 3DS, the 3D effect is going to be even better than that.
Well,
because it has the head tracking.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's awesome. That's a great
Yeah.
feature. Like head tracking stuff. I remember when I first saw it on YouTube in like 2005 or whatever, and it blew me away. I was like, that's the coolest fucking thing.
Yeah.
So that's great of them to utilize. I wanted to ask, how often, what's your 3D preference when you play 3DS games on average? Do you turn it off ever, or you always have it on?
I mostly turn it off when I'm streaming, but if it's just me playing, I think the 3D actually does add a bit of depth, and it really can. Some games it can actually help because spatially where enemies are.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And it's actually, the effect in some games is great. Link Between Worlds, Fire Emblem, for example, those two games in particular, I thought
Yeah.
the 3D effect was subtle, but incredibly, incredibly nice.
Those are
Mario
the games where I like it the most, actually.
And Mario 3D Land, it was actually it almost increased the gameplay potential to the point where you didn't want to play without it.
Yep.
So I mostly use it. I think it looks good most of the time.
Yeah, I would say I'm about half and half. Like with Phoenix Wright or Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright that I'm playing right now, I'm going back and forth between on and off because some scenes look really good, but there are other times, especially because it's a game where you see a solid image, or like an image. You are a static camera and you see this 3D image and you move a pointer around to inspect things, and the pointer doesn't ever seem to want to line up on the plane that it should. So you might be looking at a fairly close object, but then the pointer is rendered as behind the object, but it's displayed on top. So it feels like it's sinking into the object, and it's really, really wonky.
Yeah.
So I go back and forth on that game between turning it on and off. But like you said earlier, with certain games like Link Between Worlds and Fire Emblem, it seems like the more subtle, the games where it has to be subtle just due to there not being too much depth in the game, those are where I like it the best because it's a nice effect, and when they do decide to crank it up, either in like something in the game or just to crank up the effect, it really shines. It really stands out. Whereas if I'm playing Ocarina of Time 3D, which I did keep it on the whole time because I like it in that game, I eventually forget that I'm playing in 3D.
Right.
Like it's only when I turn it off that I realize it's gone and I realize that it was really nice looking.
I didn't use it fully in Ocarina of Time 3D. I used it maybe 30 to 50%.
Yeah, and
You know,
and
like,
I was going to mention that too, that I like it almost on full in subtle games, and in more spacious games where there's a lot of depth to it, I keep it pretty low.
yeah. There's sometimes when you can keep it on low and it'll be a better choice.
Uh-huh.
So that's kind of where I'm at with it. You have to adjust. If you can handle the 3D, then I'd say go for it. But I think it depends on the game, and sometimes it looks great, and sometimes it's too much. Like the Xenoblade Chronicles 3D is a game that looks like you might have to lower it a bit.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's because there's so much. The world is huge, and there's so much
It's
depth.
massive. It really is.
So, but it looks good. Graphically, it looks pretty good for a handheld game. Just to kind of finish the discussion, about all this stuff is Monster Hunter 4 and Ocarina and Majora's Mask 3D.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the new 3DS has an analog nipple. It's got the little nipple on the right.
Yeah.
They call it the C stick.
The C-nip.
I know what the C stands for. I know.
Yeah.
We
all do.
It's basically a great way to manipulate feels. No, it's a good way to manipulate the camera. And for a game like Monster Hunter, it's almost necessary.
It is necessary.
I played the
to
demo.
me, it's necessary.
I agree. I played the demo yesterday of Monster Hunter 4, and it was very good, but not having that analog stick for camera control and having to use the touch screen, for example, was not great.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't fun.
Sorry, go ahead.
I just think that the new 3DS would come in very, very handy for a game like Monster Hunter 4.
Totally. I feel the more I think about it, the game that first comes to mind that benefited from the Circle Pad Pro was Metal Gear Solid 3D. Or Metal Gear Solid 3 3D. Did they just call it 3D? I don't know.
3 3D.
3 3D. But that I almost feel like that game was just released a generation too early. Because imagine if that game didn't exist. And then they announced that game for the new Nintendo 3DS, people would shit themselves.
Hallelujah.
I mean, I guess they kind of did when it was announced for the original, but the original, it suffered a lot because it had a lot of frame rate problems. You pretty much needed the Circle Pad Pro to have a good experience.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I know, it was very underwhelming, and that's one of my favorite games ever, Metal Gear Solid 3, and I didn't even buy it just because I heard of all the issues it had.
I was dead set on buying that game, and I did not.
Imagine if, because on the new Nintendo 3DS, it probably would have been a lot better with its frame rate.
Mm-hmm.
It would have had the C-nip to control the camera. It would and it has the new Nintendo 3DS has extra shoulder buttons, which could make up for the shoulder buttons that you had with the PlayStation 2 controller.
Yep.
It just, to me, it's almost like that game was just meant for the new Nintendo 3DS, and they just, in history, shot its arrow in the wrong spot.
I agree. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. And that's the thing with Nintendo. They do release so many upgrades, whether they be new generation or incremental. The handheld game with Nintendo is always, get it as soon as it comes out and get the most out of it, because a year and a half later to 2 years later, there's going to be an upgrade, whether it's an XL or a more powerful version like the DSi was, and now the new 3DS. It's like, I feel bad for people that bought a 3DS just before they announced the new 3DS, because there's really for me, I can't see a reason why you'd want to not get it. It is a direct upgrade. Not only will it have some exclusive games, the internet loads quicker, games load faster, Smash Brothers loads faster, analog stick, extra shoulder buttons. There's just better 3D. It adjusts its screen brightness. If it's too bright out, it'll increase the brightness. If you're in a dark room, it'll lower it to conserve battery life.
I wonder if you could turn that off though, because I just think of my iPhone, where there is an auto brightness setting, but the auto brightness takes up more battery. like if you turn off the auto brightness, you see a noticeable increase in battery life. So I'm wondering what the battery life of the new Nintendo 3DS is, and if you can turn that auto brightness adjustment
Probably.
off.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't give you that option. I'd be shocked.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
But whatever happens, I feel it's a direct upgrade.
Totally.
So, but that's the Nintendo curse. Games that come out too early, games that come out, and like you buy the system because you want that game, and then 2 months later, Nintendo goes and announces a new model. It's like, I trust me, as much of a Nintendo fan as I am, I have my complaints, and I'm very vocal about them, and that's probably one of them. But I might get it. I'm not sure yet. I might get the new 3DS just for the added features. And to end with Majora's Mask, I just want to say it looks great. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for some of the retooled mechanics. I'm excited for the fishing. And also, you have full camera control now.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
But only if you have a Circle Pad Pro or the new 3DS.
Well, I mean, you can also consider how Wind Waker had full camera control too. But, I mean, how often did you really use it?
You use it to look at the environment.
Yeah, I mean, totally.
That's about it.
I just think of, like, how a lot of modern 3D Zeldas, the generally Nintendo is pretty good with its camera. Like, it's not like some other games where camera is a big issue. Generally, you don't notice Nintendo's automatic camera systems, and because they're so good. They're so good you don't even think about them.
Or you can just press the L button.
Right. Or if things do get fucked up somehow, you just hit L and it's all better again.
So that's a minor selling point. The major selling point for Majora is just the game itself is just fantastic.
Yeah.
It looks good. I pre-ordered the collector's edition with the little Skull Kid.
Awesome.
I managed to get one. So I'm excited about that. And now, it's just a matter of, as a streamer, I'm going to stream it on a system without a Circle Pad.
Mm-hmm.
So that means I don't get that camera functionality. But that's just life. That's what I have to deal with.
And I think the game won't suffer too much because of it. It won't be like Monster Hunter as it would be without it.
Exactly. Good point. See, that's the difference. Monster Hunter necessary, Majora's Mask optional.
Yeah.
And there you go.
Yeah.
That's the difference between the two games, to influence your purchase for the new Nintendo 3DS. If you're just going to get Majora, you might not need it. But if you're thinking about getting Monster Hunter, you might want to, check it out. Mm-hmm. Especially if you're also interested in Xenoblade. So, yeah, I mean, my opinion finally about the new Nintendo 3DS is this. Take a look at your options, see what you have, see what you want. You might want it, or it might not be for you. It's a little expensive, and for me, I'm not sure if I want it yet. So you might have to just kind of... It's not for everyone. It's not for everyone. If you're new to Nintendo and you don't have a 3DS, I can safely say, and I think KY would agree with me, that the 3DS is a very good system. It's got a lot of great games on it, and if you have not yet purchased a 3DS, this new one it seems like it's the best one yet, and it'll be a good chance to catch up on games that maybe you haven't tried yet.
Yep.
So that's how I feel about it overall. I'm not like 100% impressed, but I'm not overly disappointed with it either.
Mm-hmm.
So
good. Yeah, I'd like to get it at some point.
Probably. So that's the whole Nintendo Direct, by the way.
Yeah. So next we're gonna go into a little segment. I don't know if this is how reoccurring this will be, depending on how often we even record these episodes. I think we were planning on like every 2 weeks, once a month, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just whenever we feel like. We'll see how people receive, how it's received and all that stuff. But we're going to do a segment now, tentatively titled Greenlight Guess, which that's just something I came up with. Who knows if you guys want to submit a better name, there probably is one. But Greenlight Guess is a time where I read to Vinnie descriptions of shitty Greenlight games, and he needs to guess if they're real or if they were made up. Sound good?
I love the idea of it. I am so ready.
All right, great. So here's the first one.
Greenlight Guess.
Yeah. The park is the best place for dogs, but cats are green at night with guns, like aliens, special. They just want to kill your dog.
Okay, so let me just reiterate. Some of these are made up, and some of them are real.
Yep.
And you're just trying to find out if I can distinguish between fake and real games that are on Steam Greenlight.
Some of these are not on Greenlight at all. Like, some of these were just made up by, actually, these are all user submitted, or the fake ones are all user submitted. The other ones have a real Greenlight page, or at least at some point had a real Greenlight page, and they were trying to get on Steam.
So, for example, this game that you just read to me might be on Greenlight.
Yep.
Oh, Jesus. Oh,
and whenever applicable, for the real ones, I have a link to them. So I can send you the link and you can see for yourself.
That is fantastic. Okay.
You want me to read it again?
Yeah, one more time, please.
Okay. The park is the best place for dogs, but cats are green at night with guns, like aliens, special. They just want to kill your dog.
They just want to kill your dog. Oh my God. What would you, if you were a developer, would you put they just want to kill your dog on a game that you're going to try to get on? Yes, it's real.
It is real. It's called Night of Cats.
Oh man.
And let me link you right now.
Yeah, you're going to have to link me.
Some of these were real at one point and have been taken down. But like that.
But the fact remains, oh my God.
Yep, Night of Cats.
Guys, please Google these when you get a chance. Remember the names, and remember the time code of where we are in the podcast. Do me a favor, check this out on Google. This is horseshit.
It's pretty bad.
And it is on Greenlight.
Yeah. But yeah, you're 1 for 1. Nice job.
Okay.
All right, another one.
Yeah.
You control a army of dead that must conquer the world by spreading death disease. Will you win or die by the death that you deal?
A army.
A army and death, like DEAF. You're spreading death disease.
That's fake.
It is fake. How'd you know?
Whoever made that up went a little too overboard with the typos.
Yeah. Some of the submissions were definitely like that. But at the same time, there are some pretty horrendously written things that are real.
I believe it.
So you're 2 for 2. Nice.
Okay. All right.
This will also inform, I guess, future user submissions. Like, they'll know. They'll catch on to what works and what doesn't work.
I love this game.
Good. Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's see. Hello. Welcome to my game called Turtle Adventure, where you play as a turtle in a TWAD platform game where you jumo oin plumbers.
Fake.
That is fake. Good.
Yeah.
3 for 3. That was submitted by Turtles.
I mean, the fucking the misspellings, the mispronunciations, it's so good.
Well, it's funny. I had a conversation with him. I asked him what TWAD was. It's just TWOD.
What is that?
Apparently, at least when he wrote it, it was meant to be 2D. Like, he spelled the word two. And I didn't get that. I just read it as TWAD, and I liked it so much that I kept that.
All right, good. Yeah, TWAD is good. Let's just
TWAD
call
platform game.
Yeah, I'm not calling them 2D ever again. They're now TWADs.
All right. Let's see. The game is a colorful, action-packed, and very exciting platformer. You play as Dave, an overgrown cartoon berry trapped in a world of turmoil. Can you save Dave? I hope that answer is yes.
Oh, fucking hell. When you say berry, do you mean bear or berry?
Berry. Berry.
So this is a game where you're a berry.
You play as Dave, an overgrown cartoon berry trapped in a world of turmoil.
That's fake.
That is real.
Oh, come on.
There you go. We fooled you for the first time.
A berry?
It's called A Berry Called Dave is the name of the game, and actually this one doesn't have a page anymore. So I cannot link you, but I promise you that when it was posted that it had a page. I'm wondering if
I believe you.
A lot of people follow this Twitter account that I got most of these descriptions from. It's called at Greenlight Gold. Like, gold nuggets of amazingness found on Greenlight.
Okay.
And so he pulls descriptions from terrible Greenlight games and posts them as tweets.
Okay.
So that's my source for those that don't know.
Fair enough. And of course, I am an honorable man. I will keep far away from anything related to, me discovering shitty Greenlight games.
Right.
I like the challenge.
So yeah, I wonder if he posts them and the authors of the actual games get so embarrassed that they take their Greenlight page down because it has like 10,000 followers or something.
That could, I mean, yeah, that could be.
I could see that.
Sure.
Let's see. Okay, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Fight the battle you already won, but never remember. It is you up against 1,000 other sperm fighters. Can you beat off your competition and come first?
God. No, wait a minute. Can you beat off your competition and come first? That's fake.
That is real as well.
Oh, come on!
Yep. It's called Spermination, and this one I will link you to. It has 3 trailers and several screenshots, and it looks pretty interesting. It's literally you swim around in a uterus, and you shoot the other sperm, and eventually you hopefully make it to an egg. And it's very Star Wars.
Oh my god!
Like because you see lasers everywhere, and you hear pews from the lasers everywhere, and it's called Spermination.
Yep. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. He's right. And it's funny too, because that description, I could totally see someone like thinking they're clever, like making that up as a joke.
Yep.
It's real.
It is real.
Oh, you can put armor on your sperm.
Yeah.
All right, I have to click off of this page. Go ahead.
All right. You play as an elderly gardener as he tends to his boss's topiaries. The catch is that you have severe Parkinson's.
Fake.
That is fake. You got that one. That was submitted by Grilled Yakisoba.
Yeah, because that, you that game would be posted all over the internet as, these bastards making fun of people with Parkinson's. There's no way. A game developer would not take a risk in losing money because they're making fun of a disease.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Good. Nice job.
Yeah.
Next one.
Okay.
Block make. It's all blocky. You can craft things.
It's real.
It is fake.
Oh, come on. That's every game right now.
That's a tricky one because there are actually several... Hang on.
1,000 block games.
Well, if you go to Greenlight and even just type in Minecraft, you find like Minecraft by Noob Kid, Minecraft Ultra by so and so, Minecrafters. Like you find a million like takes on Minecraft, but this one was actually made up. So that one is tricky. Okay. You are a man who crossed the shadows. You are known as Shadow Walker. You task our escape from room.
Fake.
That is real.
Come on.
4 out of 8. You've gotten half right so far.
I can't. I just lost it. I lost.
Some of these are really, really well. I don't know. It's a good mix. There are some that I feel are more obvious than others, but it's good.
I'm just more disappointed, not in myself, but in people for making and submitting these things to Greenlight or making them up. But anyway, go ahead. I'm ready for more if you got them.
All right. 3 words. Erotic meme run.
Fake.
That is fake. You got that. That was submitted by Adamant Arkville. Arkville.
Okay.
So 5 out of 9. Good. Kitten Princess is a top-down roguelite game made with some of your favorite deviant artists, including Naruto Warrior and Yaoi Boy 99.
Oh, please kill me now. That's real.
That is fake. I bet you're relieved that is fake.
I am.
That was submitted by Rev Scarecrow.
By Rev.
Yep. He
God
came up
almighty.
With that. Very good.
All right.
Let's see. Oh, here's a good one. The year should have ended, but in 1965 it didn't. December 32nd was here. Why? We don't know ourselves.
Fake.
That is real. It's called Day 366. And this one I will link you to.
I don't want to exist on this planet anymore.
Oh, man. I only got a couple left on the list. I could just do all of them, I guess. I was only going to do a few, but we're getting through them pretty quick.
I'm having a lot of fun with this.
Good.
Day 366. Oh, my fucking God.
I know, right?
What a concept.
Yeah.
The year should have ended. Oh, please. Please. All right, go ahead.
And it's funny because, like, you could imagine people, like, one day they wake up and they look at their calendar and there's just a 32 on the end. Like, it's not like it was something they were actually able to scientifically feel. Like, oh, how are we in December 32nd now? How is this possible? Instead of just, as arbitrary as dates are.
It's better than the plot to Star Trek Into Darkness, at least.
Yeah.
So, anyway, go ahead.
All right. Indie game, which is to kill zombies. The graphias, the game, are somewhat peculiar because they are similar to those used in the 90s.
Fake.
That is real. It was called Revenge of the Zombies. And unfortunately, the page is no longer up on Greenlight, but it was real at one point. You're exactly 50% right now, if my scoring is correct.
Okay.
Broken Pencil, a pointless game. When thinking about why I made the game, I kept drawing a blank. The paper is terrible.
Fake.
That is fake. You got that. That one's pretty easy. It was Ian Vigia who submitted that.
It's fucking too many puns.
Way too many. Well, I'm sure there are some there was the Barry one earlier, though.
Yeah, good point.
That was real. Let me see, which ones haven't I done? Because I'm just doing these randomly. Okay. Only one more.
Okay.
I think, if I'm looking at this right, there's only one more.
That's fine.
What can be more dangerous than Night Road? It can be only Night Road full of crowds of zombies and other evil spirits.
Considering I recently, played the Undead Rider game, it doesn't strike me as too much of a foreign concept. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to say that's real.
You are correct. It is called Moto Horror. Yep. And you ended with 8 out of 14 correct. And I'm going to link you to this one too, because I got the page for this. That's it. You did 8 out of 14. Not bad. I think that's a pretty good balance. I was worried that it would be too obvious, like which ones were fake and which ones were real, but I'm pretty satisfied with that mix.
Yeah, that was a little harder than I thought it would be. At first, I felt like I would definitely not screw any of that up, but I can't believe some of those games are real.
Which one was your favorite?
The sperm one, probably, because I thought that someone just had a filthy mind and was like, oh, Vinnie would never believe that a game like this would exist. That's, I can't believe that's a real game.
It's true.
But, yeah. And I'm looking at this Moto Horror game. There are zombie Nazis in the game.
Yep.
You can't make this shit up, folks.
Yeah, there is nothing more... Wait, what did it say? Let me see. There's nothing more dangerous than Night Road.
Nothing.
It can only be Night Road, full of crowds of zombies and other evil spirits.
It can only be.
It can only be.
Babadook.
Babadook!
Babadook.
You gotta watch that movie. It's good. You'll laugh the whole time because of Babadook. But it's pretty solid.
Well, that was amazing. That game that you played there and that you made up for me. So thank you for that. I enjoyed that very much.
Yeah, and we could do another one next time.
Sure.
Greenlight guess, title pending. And if you're listening, anyone who's listening to this, feel free to submit them to me. Like if you have a good fake one, obviously try to make it believable but absurd. Follow Greenlight Gold on Twitter for examples, or use the ones we used tonight for examples of what they should be like, and submit them to me. My Twitter is at livebyfoma, LIVE. Do I have underscores in mine? Shit, I should really just get a new Twitter thing. I should just make I thought about making a Twitter for this podcast just to make these things easy. Do you think that's a good idea?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
so how about this? We'll just call it at 2 on the Vine. If that's available, that's what it will be. I haven't made it yet, but feel free to tweet at that then you'll be able to see them easily. I don't know, man. How about just email me? You can find my... I don't know what to do. Okay, we'll do Twitter. Twitter's best. So my Twitter is at livebyfoma, LIVE_by_FOMA. Live_by_FOMA. Livebyfoma. It's just KY on Twitter. You'll see it. Don't submit them to Vinesauce, because if you submit it to Vinesauce, Vinnie will see them, and that will ruin it. So we don't want that to happen.
Yeah,
so,
don't ruin it, because I don't want to know what these are. I want to actually, if we do this more often, I would love to just be surprised.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, just Live by Foma. Send it to him at Live by Foma, and we'll do this again.
Yeah, that sounds good. So in the future, we may do a listener's mail segment too. You know, if you guys have questions for us or just things that you want to say, we'll do the best ones, and we'll spend 10 minutes or so going over viewer mail.
I think maybe we'll make an email specifically for the podcast, and that way people can submit questions directly to there, and yeah, we can pick the best ones.
Sure. I mean, you can do that or just tweet either of us. You can find our Twitters on vinesauce.com. Go to the contact page. There's a lot of contact info there.
I get too many tweets to probably... Here's the thing. I might not be able to pick apart which ones are for this or which ones aren't by the next time we do this.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Well, we'll have our podcast Twitter, and we'll probably have a unique email we'll put in the description of the video or or whatever. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. That'll work.
So viewer mail next time, perhaps, if we get viewer mail.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I hope so too. Did you have a good time recording your first ever podcast?
Yeah, I had a great time. Now, hang on a second. I've guested a little bit here and there on some things. I've been on Mecha Gamezilla. Maybe fair enough. I was only a voice recording, but but I was there, kind of. I had a great time.
Good.
And I mean, on Mecha Gamezilla, this was a load of shit.
Yeah.
Take care.
Okay.
No. I really thought this was great, and I would like to do more. If there's stuff to talk about, and we have, some topics, I think it could be good. They might not all be as long as this one.
Mm-hmm.
This one's going for about, I guess, an hour 40 so far, so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
But I think, in the future, if we do more, it just depends on what we have to talk about.
Yeah,
If we have a lot to talk about, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, it could be on the short side. We could just talk about what games we're playing and what we've been doing lately, and greenlight guests, listeners' mail, whatever.
Yeah. Maybe some life experiences. Maybe like the Joe Rogan podcast, we can talk about drugs for 70% of the show.
Yeah.
And
he's a really smart guy, though. I enjoyed him as a guest on Smodcast.
He's smart. He's a good host.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why I like podcasts. I love the Ricky Gervais Show podcast because it's silly.
Yeah.
And it's just out of control. But the Joe Rogan podcast, I feel like I learn a lot. So, maybe we can strike a balance between the two.
Yeah.
You walk down the street. It's a dark night. It's cloudy. You look through the window of your nearest neighbor. It's a me, Mario. Another Mario Party. You can't escape them. The Mario parties are everywhere. Man look like Luigi. Chase you. Okay, let's wrap it up. That's 2 in the Vine, and on the Vine.
2 on the Vine. Yeah.
And I'll see you guys later. Thank you for listening.
Yep. Thanks for listening. Bye.
See ya.
Let me lay it on the line. He had 2 on the Vine.